Disclaimer: this video is for educational and historical purposes only. André Giroux was a French-Canadian who showed Americans that we did not have the monopoly on game-bred American Bull Terriers. He is counted as, and definitely was, a top handler, conditioner, and matchmaker. I feel that his greatest talent was the ability to know which dogs to use for breeding, and how to most effectively cross them. He was similar to one of his peers, Maurice Carver, in the respect of producing some of the best American game dogs of his time, although André lived in Montreal, Canada his entire life. André found good dogs where he could, was extremely selective on individuals, but he never became overly focused on one bloodline. André culled, or lost testing what most dogmen would have used for a foundation. He owned some of the best, then defeated the rest. While I was still a novice, André versed me on how, in order to be successful in the dog game, that I must learn to keep my heart in my wallet. He versed me on other ideologies regarding the dog game during our many conversations about the breeding, schooling, and training of American game dogs, and as to the importance of tending to a dog's mental well-being. Those bits of advice still carry the same impact as I continue to learn as I go along. The reason that most of his lineage has not continued as most had expected is that many people were mating a pair solely because the name Giroux appeared on the pedigree. Giroux was clever enough not to limit his focus on an ego tunnel, but instead on a realistic objective promoting worldwide success amid one of the most enigmatic of sports. Such is a practice that André almost never allowed himself to slip into, but one of his instincts did directly backfire on a large scale. The exception was when André stopped a brother to Brousseau's C.H. Ben named Gunner Jr., which was sired by C.H. Gunner Rom, and out of Giroux Bonnie in a role while not fully matured but matched him anyway, because of his punishing mouth. C.H. Gunner Jr. won 4, and then was used for stud by many Canadian enthusiasts only to find that he was throwing mostly hard-mouthed curs. Gunner Jr. was the dog André rolled against his recently purchased aging, retired stud from Patrick, Gr.Ch. Hank. After 20 minutes with Junior, Hank was for sale again, and was fortunately purchased by Captain America to be used with much success, just as the Californians were enjoying with the Hank blood through Ch. Little Boots Rom, and Gr.Ch. Double Trouble. Captain America reached the pinnacle of his breeding program, when a son of Hank's named Sir Douglas was put over his Alexis bitch, resulting with Captain America's Gr.Ch. King Arthur that won his final outing as game, as the game won, come by winning a war over PSK of NY's assassin at 41.5 pounds. Danny Tattoo Powell was a protege of Giroux, and he seemed to be the only man beside of Alan Waldman, Louis Vinagro, James Crenshaw, and Camp who knew how to successfully continue to propagate the Giroux lineage by keeping a mixture of the old Trahan C.H. Rascal and Carver's Black Widow blood through C.H. Gunner over the Tudor stock through either Maloney's Davis or Gr.Ch. Hank. Danny Powell purchased one of the best sons of Giroux Trip, named C.H. Rocky, that was a dog winning 2 Mathses in one night, back-to-back, though the second was not counted as a legitimate win. The other ace tattoo acquired from Giroux' wife, Lisa, was C.H. Our gal Sunday, one of the hardest bitches of modern times, as she won all of her matches while never passing the 21-minute mark. André phoned me a few times over the years to fill me in on the progress of his dogs, and to ask about mine. Once was when André unfolded a story about how the old bear dog which he purchased from Joe Orde came up missing. André told me that he found out who had stolen his old stud, and took a drive to see if what he had heard was true. After looking in the man's backyard, he walked to the front door, and politely knocked. As the man opened the door asking, "Yeah, what do you want?" André answered with 3 spent .38 caliber cartridges. He then calmly walked into the backyard again to get his dog, and went back home. Serious charges were pending in investigation, but André justly walked away from that mess without doing any time. Although André lived in the city, in an apartment building with virtually no yard to speak of, he never had a dog stolen from him again. In fact, when people moved into his apartment building, he would farm out a pup to them as he had with his other tenants so they could raise it for him. Imagine if that man owned acreage? We may still be reading and talking of his dogs today.